the porridge, right? Which I know you're going to say it's messy, so you want to feed them. But let's say you are in the kitchen. I'm talking to mommy right now. You're in the kitchen, you're cooking, or it could be daddy. There are some daddies who also go to the kitchen. And then you are busy. You want to make sure that you have your child strapped, okay? So let's say you have one of these, the high chair, right? You strap your child in the high chair. Just get a sanitizer, something to clean the tray, okay, of the high chair. Clean it and make sure there are no particles. It's germ free. And all you need to do is just get some finger food. Please do not go for, a lot of people say, oh, I'll just boil carrots a bit and put it down. But if your child is that young and they just bite into the carrot and mistakenly they take a big chunk, it can choke them, right? So it's a choking hazard. Even if you boil it at that young age, let's say your child is about 4 months, 5 months, and they can sit well and you're weaning them. You don't want to give them things like carrot, apple, and stuff like that. They can choke on those, okay? You want to go for something like a plain biscuit, okay? They have a lot of these baby biscuits that are kind of in strips, right? So the child can hold it easily. So this is just a plain cracker. And this cracker, when the child bites into it, the saliva goes around it and it melts in their mouth, right? So that is better than going for something that when they bite, they would have to chew. Go for something that saliva can moisten it and then it melts into their mouth and they can swallow it, okay? All right, so what you do is, you are in the kitchen, you put the high chair there, strap your child in there, okay? And then just put a biscuit on the table. What do babies like to do? They like to taste. Everything goes inside their mouth, right? So your child is going to pick the biscuit and take it to their mouth. And as they do that, and then the saliva moistens it, it goes right into their mouth. They learn how to swallow it. The next time you give it to them again, they're going to do the same. And guess what? Within a month or two, you don't even have to say anything. You just put it on the table, and then they just sit down there forever whilst you are busy cooking or even cleaning or doing whatever you're doing. But at least you know they are strapped and they are safe, right? Okay, so that is one way you can start independent feeding. And whilst I'm talking, we're going to be also showing my daughter. Before she turned 1, she was eating, right, on her high chair. We just took her top off because sometimes you're thinking, oh, they're going to mess up their clothes and all that. So she has her top off and she can eat her food as, you know, anyhow that she wants. She knows that mommy is not going to come and feed her because she knows how to do it herself. And she's been doing that since I was weaning her. So she knows that she takes the spoon, she puts it inside the bowl and scoops. Even if she decides she wants to put her hand in there to eat, that's fine. I wouldn't insist use the spoon at that age, right? So the more she practices, and I also urge her to use the spoon, then she'll get better, okay? Then another thing I would advise is that when you are trying to get your child to drink, okay, try and use something like this. It's a sippy cup, right? It's a sippy cup, but it has handles. So if your child gets to the point where they can drink without the top, then it's easy to transition them from this to a normal cup that doesn't have a handle, right? Okay, so I would rather give this to my child and let them sip on it, right? So they sip on it and it's as if they are using a regular cup. So in that video you saw that, well, she wanted water, she got her water, she took it, drank it, and put it down, right? So it's all about teaching your child. Teach them. Children are born with some intelligence, and that's one thing I would like to tell parents. Never think that your child is a baby or they are too young to know. Never. They are born with some intelligence, but they just need you to support them grow, right? To support them nurture that intelligence that they've come into the world with. But if you don't nurture it too, then it becomes dormant. You know, something that is not in use for so long, what happens to it? You know, they can't use it anymore. It's like they become so dependent on adults that they can't do anything for themselves. So please, parents, teach your children independent eating right from when you wean them, okay? Don't wait until they grow so old, 3 years, and you are still feeding your child every food. 4 years and your child cannot eat by themselves. That is not good. Because if you say, oh, my child is so intelligent, they can recite numbers up to 100, and then from my observation, I realized, oh, this child cannot even eat by themselves. Then to me, I'm like, oh, what happened right there? Your child is doing very well academically, but developmentally they are not. Okay? So one other thing I would like to mention is whilst you are weaning your child, use a sectioned plate. Okay? So you can put a little bit of something else here. For instance, if they are you start giving them like fruits, vegetables, some meat. Okay, you want them to taste every bit of a bit of everything, right? So maybe you put some apple here. If the apple you have to steam it, go ahead and steam it. Put a little bit here, then put a little bit of steamed carrot over here. Put a little bit of meat, you know, fish. Most people start with fish. So a little bit of steamed fish over here, and then your child is going to pick at random whatever they want to eat, but then they are developing their sense of taste, right, by doing that. And that's how you can also support them like the different kinds of food. And then it's not like every day it's the same kind of food that you feed to them and you feed to them and you feed to them. Give them independent time for them to also try things by themselves, okay? You know, so far as you think it's safe for you to eat, then it's also safe for your child who is on solids to also eat, okay? Right. And I hope that these little tips that I'm giving will be very beneficial to most parents, because I get a lot of parents asking me, oh, how come my child is able to eat very well in school, but then when they come home they don't? Because in school they know that we're going to support them to eat by themselves, and then the teacher is not always going to come and feed them, and they see that most of the kids are eating by themselves because that's our goal, you know. So then they realize, oh, okay, then I have to also learn how to eat by myself. But then if you introduce it at home, then when they come to school it becomes a normal thing, right? So please, let's all be in this together. Child education is very important, but child development is equally important. So let's create that balance in children as they grow, okay? So I would end this here, and I hope it's going to be very beneficial to all my viewers. Thank you very much, and I hope to share some more. And one more thing, some parents cannot afford the high chair, okay? If you can't afford the high chair, this is something that they sell in town. It's a plastic chair, it's a small plastic chair, it's not that costly. You can always get one of these. Just put it down and let your child sit on it. So far as they can sit well and they are on solids, just clean. It also has a tray. The key is always that tray that is in front of it, where you can put a few items here and there. Just make sure you clean it. Don't just pick it up and then put something on there, because there will be germs on there. So just clean it like I did with the other one, and then just put, you don't need to put a plate or anything on it. It's clean. It's like a plate. You've cleaned it. So just put whatever you want to put on there and let your child sit there and just explore. Eat whatever they want to eat, you know. And when they're done, they'll probably tell you, I'm done, you know, or when you're done, just use those words. Are you done? Oh wow, is it yummy? You know, just to encourage them to eat. Okay, so this is a cheaper option and you can go for it. Okay, it does the same, it serves the same purpose, or it does the same trick as the big one, you know, the imported ones that are so expensive. Thank you, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye bye.